And heard from enough Democrats and Republicans that they are willing to put partisanship aside, I think, and put the security of the American people first.
After 35 days, the shutdown is over. Federal workers, some forced to eat at homeless shelters, now set to receive back pay, a sigh of relief from workers. After weeks of protest, the president appearing to cave to political pressure, temporarily reopening government without getting funding for his proposed border wall.
23 ABC's Josh Sanders has more on the local federal workers who were waiting for this day. Josh?
Yeah, Tim, Jess, it was the longest government shutdown in American history. And after 35 days of the partial government shutdown, President Trump has agreed to reopen the government, a big win for federal workers.
Friday, federal workers hearing the words they've wanted from the president for 35 days.
Proud to announce today that we have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government.
It's a complete reversal from the president's original stance, demanding almost $6 million to fund a wall on the southern border. Democrats holding firm, refusing to pass any legislation which included the wall.
It's sad, though, that it's taken this long to come to an obvious conclusion.
Before today, on Twitter, the president saying that he wouldn't cave, even rejecting a Republican proposal that looked similar to the one he agreed to today. The president agreeing to fund the government until February 15th and let negotiations over border security continue. The proposal also calls for back pay to furloughed workers, a welcome message to local TSA employee Nicole Cancio.
I'm so glad that both parties came across the aisle to come to a mutual agreement. And so, you know, it makes me relieved that they are actually working on stuff.
But the president seemed to make contradicting statements in his address, at one point saying we don't need a wall and never did, but then saying we have no choice.
We really have no choice but to build a powerful wall or steel barrier.
Now, local politicians responding to the end of the shutdown. Here's what House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy had to say. He said, "I look forward to working with my colleagues in the House and Senate to find meaningful solutions to border security, including a barrier that the president will support." And then TJ Cox saying, "I will again saying I will continue to push for the passage of my bill, the Immediate Financial Relief Act, which would help federal workers access the cash they need if a future shutdown continues." So President Trump also saying if a fair deal is not reached by February 15th, the government could shut down again, or he could use his power to declare a national emergency. And one quick note, wanted to make TSA security worker Nicole Cancio, she did want to thank the community for coming to her side and others during this shutdown. Hopefully, guys, they'll get this permanent fix within the 3 weeks. Tim, Jess.